On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the first southern kingdom in India to unify southern India? What do you got, Macy?
Chola.
Chola. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the dude who who unified northern India? Post Gupta. No. Who is it? Oh my God, we've got a lot of wrong answers. Sadie. King Harsha. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the dude who forces Islam in on India? You see the difference between the two? Good. Khaled. What is the name of the only Hindu kingdom that will trade with the Sultanate of Delhi? However, eventually they're like, oh man, they're awful, and stop trading with them as well. Good. What is it, Claire? Kingdom of V. Sounds good. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is going to become the center of both education, banking, and religion in India. Good. Bella. Temples. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is going to increase because, what place is going to increase in trade because of new technology like Arabic dhows and Chinese Jews? What? It's not that bad. Good. What is it? Shabani. Indian Ocean Basin. On your whiteboard, please tell me what please tell me what direction do the monsoon winds blow and fall to spring? What? No. Fall to storm.
Fall to winter.
Not a thing. Oh. Fall to winter. Right. What is it, Noemi? It's northeast. On your whiteboard, please tell me what part of India is making the most money off of trade? Good. Arima.
The South.
South. What part of India is known for its political up and down invasions? Jesus. What is it, mates? On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when, who is the Pope who was challenged for the first time when he tried putting people in someone else's court? Who is it? No, your numerals are wrong, Garrett. Gorgazo? No, you aren't friends with him. You don't get to call him Greg. You aren't besties. You don't like. No. Aiden. Pope Gregory VII. What is it called when a pope wants to put his own council members in a king's court? What is it called when the pope wants to put his own people in a king's court? What do we call it? What's the fancy term for that? Good. What is it, Kate? Investiture. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the first king to challenge that pope's authority? Good. Who is it, Noemi? Henry IV. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of... Please tell me, what is the name of... Oh, who were the ruling family of France? What do we call the ruling family of France? Nagate. The Capetians. Who was the first member of the Capetians?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Who is? Yeah, you did. His name is Hugh Capet. Capetians, Hugh Capet. Definitely talked about that.
How do you spell that?
H-U-G-H. Pets. On your whiteboard, please tell me what was the first centralized imperial empire in Western Europe post-Carolinian? What is the name of the first centralized imperial rule empire in Western Europe post-Carolinian? Who is it, Alex? Holy Roman Empire. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the gentleman who invaded England in 1066? Good. Who is it, Claire? William the Conqueror. Who can raise their hand and let me know where we left off?
You Cuphead.
Hi, Jesse. Italy becomes the most powerful country in Europe. Perfect. Alright, here we go. So, Hugh Capet. Cover it. Hugh Capet's first. He is going to start the Capetians. We have England, of course, with Normandy. Now, Italy. There's 3 big things you need to know about Italy. They are going to still be city-states. Italy doesn't unify until like 10 years before World War I. Fun fact. That's crazy. World War I starts in 1914, by the way. Second thing you need to know, they are made up of city-states. They are going to be the wealthiest country in Europe. Who can raise your hand and tell me why they're the wealthiest country in Europe? Noemi. The Crusades, for sure, are going to help that. Third thing is you need to know that they are... They're the wealthiest. They are city-states. Oh, they control the Mediterranean basin. Sorry. I wasn't trying to be that dramatic. Now, I do want you to take a look at my board over here. I do want you to write this down because the impact is really what matters more than anything. So, Italy, you need to know that they are going to carry Crusaders from Italy to the Holy Land for money. Okay, so they carry Crusaders to the Holy Land. Crusaders get off, they get paid. Then, in the Holy Land, the Italians purchase products from Muslims and fill their boats with them. Oh my board. Yeah, but I think it says holy. In Holy Land. It is a Holy Land. This is the Italians are making this. So in the Holy Land, the Italians purchase products from the Muslims and fill their boats. Okay, so not only are they making money there, they're also going to be making money on the way home. Do you think most businesses run like that?
No.
No. So the fact that they're making crazy money. Now, once they get back to Europe, the Italians sail back to Italy. They sell all the products back to Europeans at 100 times the cost. Do you think they really need to jump up the prices that much?
No.
No, because it's really, they had to sail back anyway. They're just making tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of profits. That's all they are.
Isn't that kind of like what we do with like shoes where it only costs $4 to make and they sell it for 60?
Oh, for sure. For sure. They're just doing it. They're just the first ones to really use the power. So, the impact of it, and this is the real important part. So yes, you need to have the first 3 because you need to understand how they make their money. But the impact of it is where we're going to see significant changes. Obviously, the Renaissance is caused. It starts in Italy because Italy has enough money to pay a guy to paint a ceiling for 13 years, correct? They have that kind of money that a guy can just lie around and paint a damn ceiling for that long. Or paint the Mona Lisa that took like 4 years to do. Okay, they have time and the money for that. Okay, so that's why it starts in Italy. However, the most important impact of this is the fact that European nations get fed up with Italy's control over trade, so they create new routes to get to Asia in order to avoid paying the Italians. Keep in mind, the Italians are flagrant with their money. They're just throwing it in everyone's face how much money they have. So who do you think are the most hated people in Europe?
Italians.
Italians. I hate them. reason why they hate them is because everyone's so hella jealous because the Italians are just rolling in all of this money. So because of everyone's hatred for the Italians, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the English, the French to a degree are going to be like, screw the Italians, I'm going to find my own way to Europe, to Asia. And that is why we have Columbus bumping into the Americas, correct? Okay, that's how we get there. Isn't that interesting? All because of the Crusades. Damn. Alright, are we ready? Yeah. And the funny thing is, Christopher Columbus is an Italian. However, Italy, is Italy going to go into the age of exploration?
No.
No. Why are they going to go? You can raise your hand and tell me why the Italians aren't going to get in on this new age of exploration, Garrett.
They already have money.
They already have money, they don't care. They already have a system in place. People are still buying their stuff. So they don't really care. Hence why they don't get involved. So is Italy today a power player or not?
No.
No. They're kind of a joke. They didn't industrialize until like 1900. Why? Because they didn't need to. Why?
Oh, can you explain like how the Crusades like helped them again?
Because all the Crusaders are marching to Italy, and from Italy they get on boats and sail to the Holy Land. So the Italians are making money off of the Crusades, while every other country is spending money on Crusades. Why?
Wait, so why did Christopher Columbus go?
Because he was a really good sailor, and he knew the Italians wouldn't send him, so he goes to Spain and say, hey, I have an idea. The Italians aren't going to spend money on exploration because they don't need it, so that's why he sails for Italy. Alright, so you need to write agricultural improvements, please, for your next heading. All over Europe. Alright, so you need to know that they are going to clear swamps and forests for farming because of what new plow do we have in Western Europe? AC? Moldboard plow is going to allow us to plow more fields, so we start clearing swamps and forests. Now, other inventions are going to be crop rotation. Now, some food items, like potatoes for instance, require a lot of nutrients. So if you plant back to back for 5 years potatoes, how much nutrients are going to be in your soil? None. However, they figured out if I plant potatoes 1 year and beets the next year, and beets put a lot of nutrients back into the soil, that their potatoes are going to stay the same size instead of shrink. So they stopped doing crop rotation, which is exactly what our farmers today in 2018 do as well. Even though we have fertilizer, they still do crop rotations because it's better for the soil. Pretty cool. You do need to know that they have horseshoes and horse collars, which allow us to plow the field significantly faster. When you have more food, you have larger
Population.
There you go. A lot more. That allow for faster plowing. So, here, let me show you how big the population grows. Wow. 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 Are you impressed, Vendela? Wow. Alright, here we go. Now, you do need to know that we're going to have a thing called urbanization. You need to write that down. Urbanization is the movement of people into town/cities.
Is this all happening in Italy?
It's all happening everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere in the world. It's when people are moving into cities or towns. So people are leaving the feudal system, not completely, it's not a complete all-out abandonment, but people are leaving the feudal system and heading into towns where they're going to, we're going to see an increase of trade. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, with trade increasing, we create the Hanseatic League. By the way, this is question 1 on your test tomorrow. The Hanseatic League is the first trading bloc in Europe. It connects European countries to facilitate trade, and it connects European countries to Muslim traders, which will then connect them to China. So it's allowing more trade to occur.
Connects who to who?
Muslims, which connects them to China. What?
Wait, it's the first trading bloc.
So it's mostly in the Baltic, it's mostly Poland, Germany, and Scandinavia, but it is going to include Muslims and Chinese because those goods are going to come through. Now, just listen. You don't have to write a single thing down unless you don't know it. Now, in Western Europe, we still have feudalism going. You're going to have feudalism in Europe, China, Japan, Russia. Okay, all of them have feudalism. In these places, you have a very complex social reality. In Western Europe, you do have a thing called chivalry. If you don't know what chivalry is, I'd write it down. But if you do know what it is, you're good to go. It is a code of conduct for lords and nobles, and it's based on Christianity. So the idea of our shining knight on a white horse, yes, that's all chivalry and all that crap. A big component of it is to protect women. By the way, I could fall asleep right now because I feel terrible talking. Do it. Just want you to know that all I want to do is fall asleep.
You can't just play back the video for your next.
Now, I'm recording a video right now, so now everyone's going to know that I'm so tired. Alright, chivalry is the protection of women and all that crap. Okay? Is this a good thing for women or a bad thing for women? Bad thing. It's a bad thing for women. It makes them look like China dolls that if you touch them, they break. Okay, they need to be protected, all that stuff. Now, troubadours, if you know what they are, don't write it down. But if you don't know what they are, write it down. AP loves this crap, and I don't really care for them. They're a bunch of homeless people who wander around playing music. Like, you know what that is. Yes. Anyway, so troubadours are just traveling poets or minstrels or entertainers who wander around, who play music for people to try to get cash. Now, the only reason why AP likes them is because they're the ones who spread the idea of knights being brave. You're like knights in shining armor and all that crap. That's all spread by the troubadours. They're also really well liked by the noble women. They were like, oh my god, a homeless man. Oh, come into my house. Play music for me. That seems safe. Seems dirty too. Don't you think they'd be dirty? And everyone's dirty, but I think they'd be super dirty. Don't you think?
Well, I mean, they took baths like once a year.
Twice a year.
Oh, no, twice a year. That's much better.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Alright. I don't care about that. Guilds. You do need to write down guilds. Guilds are important. Guilds are organizations of merchants, workers, and artisans. This is the foundation of what we would call later labor unions. They're going to actually do a pretty great thing. They're going to ensure that all people who are in that town have enough work. So say, for instance, we're a little village. And I wanted to open up a Chinese restaurant in our little village because I love Chinese food, fun fact. We already have 5 Chinese restaurants in our little village. Would we open another Chinese restaurant?
No.
No, that makes no sense. However, out of the 5 for our little village, if there's no Indian restaurants, would they allow an Indian restaurant to open?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay? What a guild does is make sure that everyone who is in that town has enough work. So if you're a winemaker and you don't have a ton of business, are they going to allow another winemaker to open?
No.
However, if you are the winemaker and you are running out of wine all the time, are they going to allow another wine opener to open? Yes. It's about making sure that there is work for everybody in there. Is that a good thing for normal people like you and I?
Yes.
Yes, it's a very good thing. It's a little safety net. What? Labor unions today. Urban women are making money on the side, ladies and gentlemen. Now, are we allowed to open up full storm businesses?
No.
No, but we can, if we want to sell some of our stitching and sewing and cloth making, we can on the side. So, women are getting a little bit more freedom in Western Europe. Now, education is going to be led by the church. Now, out of the wealthy, middle class, and poor people, who do you think are getting the most education?
Wealthy.
Nope.
Or?
Definitely not. They don't have time. Middle class.
It's a little
Who
much.
is making up our middle class? You can raise your hand and tell me who is making up our middle class. Garrett?
Pardon?
artisans and merchants and all that stuff. So all the people who are running their stores, they need to know how to read and how to do math, correct?
Yeah.
So they're the ones getting the education. Why doesn't a noble's son need to know how to read and write, Vince?
Because he's defending your nation.
I mean, it's not a terrible answer, but it's not a great answer. Macy?
Because people are doing it for him.
No.
No.
Alex?
He's learning it from his own.
Yeah, he's learning it from his father. So all he has to do is do whatever his dad's doing, right? And then when his dad dies, he's going to continue what his dad did. And then he's going to have a son, and he's going to be like, come here, son, follow me around. And that son's going to learn by watching. So the noble families really didn't need to learn how to do math and English and all that stuff, right? It was the merchant kids. So your middle class is going to be making the most education gains. There are universities, just listen. They're all supported by the church. It's mostly how to become a priest, is what most of your universities are coming from. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Yeah, good. No. Alright, here we go. Crusades!
Yeah.
There we go. So your Crusades are going to start. Just write Crusades. Now, just listen, you don't have to write anything else if you have besides Crusades. You do need to know that it is taking religion and putting a war behind it. Yes, we understand what the Crusades are. Okay, now have you ever heard of the Templar Knights?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. They wear like white sheets with a red cross on it. Okay, they're going to be very famous, all super wealthy by the end of the war. I wonder how they got wealthy. Stolen. So, what we're going to see is that the Muslims are going to start conquering territory. So Pope Urban II, the Muslims conquered Jerusalem. I'd write that down. Muslims conquered Jerusalem. So Pope Urban II calls Christians to go to Jerusalem and take it back.
But nobody cared about Jerusalem. No, wait, where did they originate from? Some that I got kicked out of?
The Jews have a Holy Land is the same as Jerusalem. They have the Wailing Wall. Everyone cares about Jerusalem. That's why Israel is fighting over it today. Alright, so Pope Urban II, you do need to know his name. It is a big deal. Pope Urban II is going to call for the Crusades to begin. And so people are going to leave Europe and come to the Holy Land and fight. The First Crusade, and you need to write this down. Yes, what do you need, Darby?
I'm just the first bullet point for the Crusades.
What do you need? The Crusades were started. Jerusalem was taken by the Muslims. Pope Urban II says we got to save the city, so he commands Christians to go to Jerusalem. Does that work for you, Vince?
Jerusalem taken by the
Muslims. Vince, I don't know if you know this, but the Crusades are between Muslims and Christians.
I know that now.
So, the First Crusade, you're going to write this down. The First Crusade is the only successful crusade for Christians, which means they take back the city of
Jerusalem.
Now, when they take back the city, any Muslim left inside, they hang them and gut them and put them over the outside of the wall. So any Muslim who was coming towards the city could see all the dead Muslims. Yeah. Yeah, not a great way to say hello to the city. Okay? So, then you need to write down Saladin. Saladin, who is a Muslim, in case you couldn't figure that out. Saladin is going to recapture the city of Jerusalem post First Crusade, and it will never go back to Christians again. Now, Saladin happens to be one of the greatest military minds ever. Okay, he's also a really great guy. You know how I told you that the Christians hung and gutted all the Muslims left inside of Jerusalem? Saladin refused to lower himself and to dirty his God's hands. So what he did is he allowed every Christian safe passage out of the city. And after every Christian was out, he allowed any Christian, Jew, or Muslim who wanted to pray alone in Jerusalem were more than welcome. So he opened the city to all pilgrims of all nationalities. So he's a pretty great guy. Can we agree?
Yeah.
Pretty great guy.
So it's like,
He'd want to
how
like
you
fulfill
believe
like
this
the
tolerance?
promises and trying to like go to heaven if they joined the Crusades. Yeah, for sure. And then they're like killing everyone.
Looting everything.
That's
That's
sure
sure
to
to
get you to heaven.
Pillage.
So, you need to know that the Fourth Crusade destroys Constantinople. There's a total of 9 crusades. You just need to know 1 and 4. I mean, the Sixth Crusade is the Children's Crusade. They drowned at sea, so that's good.
Wait, you sent children into the fight?
They-
Wait, like how old children?
Wait,
9
the
to
Fourth
14.
Why?
Because we're going to take back the Holy Land, Arima.
They
They drowned at sea. They sunk in the sea. So, I mean, what's better? I would rather see kids drown in the Mediterranean than being stabbed to death on a battlefield. Can we agree?
Yeah.
So I think, I think God was like, God damn it. Look what these Christians are doing. Damn it. Let's let them die a peaceful death of drowning, I guess. Well, do you want to see little kids on a battlefield, like, crying for their mom getting stabbed to death?
I'd be more afraid drowning.
Yeah, I would too.
Same.
Drowning
I
is a
was
much-
not stabbed to death
Yeah.
from drown.
Are you serious?
Like if
Yeah.
you don't want it to.
Stabbing is
Yeah.
But then you see a bunch of people die before you die.
You're in
Renaissance!
the middle of the Mediterranean. And I don't think many kids knew how to swim.
No, most people didn't know how to swim during this time.
Cut back in those days. Everything gets infected.
Renaissance! First thing's humanism. You do need to write down this part. You don't need to write down all this other crap. You need to know this part. So humanism is a major principle of the Renaissance. They believe that the human reason and logic were as important to understanding, and they also really embrace the fact that if you read the Bible, apparently our bodies are, the way humans were designed is in reflection of God, so God looks like us, yes? I didn't say it as eloquently as the Bible does, but that's fine. That's why everyone's naked during the Renaissance. Because if God looks like us, by drawing our bodies, we're showing honor to God. Isn't that funny? Have you ever wondered why all Renaissance paintings are all naked?
Nope, no, not really.
You never put that together?
Not the paintings, really. Not all of them. Like Mona Lisa is naked.
Thank God. Could you imagine? That's probably why she's smiled. She's like, I should be naked. Are you good?
Understanding
Wait, just the first one or
What?
just the first one?
Yeah, it's the first. Alright, then you need to know secularisms. Actually, you kind of need this whole thing, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you need to be aware. So, secularism is writers begin writing using their vernacular. What is vernacular? Who can raise your hand? Ah, damn it, it's already up there. Macy.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's right after.
Oh, the locally spoken language instead of Latin.
Yeah, so they're using common language instead of Latin. Why would they do common language instead of Latin? Isabella.
Because Latin's the language that they like write all the hymns in, and it's all like the church stuff. And if they want to be secular, they don't want to be like the church.
There you go. That's a good answer. Also, do you think most people are going to read secular stuff or Latin stuff?
Secular.
Secular. Regular people like you and I are going to be more likely to understand secular or the vernacular rather than the religious stuff. Okay, you do need to know the Divine Comedy is Dante, and it's all about his epic journey through hell and the 7 rings. Is it 7 or 9
9.
rings?
Okay.
It's why is it taught in AP Human?
Mr. Silas made us read it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no, he did like our
In
class.
mythology?
Yeah, mythology. He made us read it.
He made his
That was
he made
the
his annoying classes read it.
Yeah, we were the worst.
Hard.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's hard to
No.
understand. There's just like we had a quiz every day. And it was confusing. He threatened us with that all the time.
Alright, then you have Chaucer who wrote Canterbury Tales. Have you ever seen A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger? It's about knights fighting. Yeah, all that stuff. Anyway, it's loosely based on Canterbury Tales. I tried reading it. It's so damn boring. I just didn't care. But Chaucer is one of the most important English authors. Do people not like that song? Alright. So, what?
What was after the dude?
Vance, are you okay tonight?
There's one behind.
Charleston.
My left.
Alright, so we have, when we talk about Renaissance art, we're also dealing with intellectual stuff. We start really thinking and challenging aspects. And here is the Sistine Chapel.
Wow.
It's pretty intense. When you go in, and it's overwhelming. You can't see everything. So I saw the Sistine Chapel 3 years ago for the first time, and the most important moment is in the center of the ceiling. You can't really see it. It would be the piece you can't see. And it's when they touch fingers, yes? David and all that stuff. Well, the first time I was so overwhelmed being there, I didn't look at the touch. I've waited 29 years at that point to see this damn ceiling, and I didn't see the most important scene for the damn ceiling. Well, the funny thing is, Ren went out, let us out the wrong way, so we had to go back to the Sistine Chapel. So I saw it. So I didn't have to go all the way back. All right. Da Vinci. Now, Da Vinci is known as a Renaissance man. A Renaissance man is known as someone who has lots and lots of talent and is good at many things, like Miss Bennett. Actually, I have no talent, so I am the absolute opposite of a Renaissance. What smart comment do you have to make, Ben?
I said you're not good at winning the lottery.
No, I'm not, Ben. Thank you for reminding me. But I'm winning tonight, Ben. I feel it. I know I'm going to win tonight. No, just write down he's a Renaissance man. He's good at science, engineering, architecture. He built the first tank. He designed the first tank. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I've seen that.
About 700 years before we actually built it. He designed flying models before we could do anything with it. All that stuff. He wrote poems. They're not very good, but he wrote them. Painted, of course. He drew. He was into all that crap. Huh? Or he's just so smart.
Evil.
Machiavelli, he is evil. You do need to write down this. Machiavelli writes The Prince, in which he advised powers to concentrate their power. You just need this first bullet point. Machiavelli is going to say that all monarchs should use their power to enforce God's will any way they want to.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, is that good for regular people like you and I?
No.
No, it's not. So if you are a future king, what would be your favorite book? The Prince. Tells you about all the wonderful things you can do and how it's God's will. Something a king wants is God's will. That's exactly what Jesus would want, right? What do you got, Avery?
Okay, was this after
This is during the Renaissance.
I know, it's after the
So the Magna Carta is going to be written. Machiavelli is French.
Yeah.
But the Magna Carta is signed in 1213. I think Machiavelli writes this in 1079.
Oh yeah, it's way before.
No, let's not get way before.
It's
It's before. All right, you're good. All right, here we go to the boards.
When did they make it first time?
Huh?
When did they make it first time? Like when was
World War I is when we first see what we would consider tanks. They don't really work that well.
Wait, do we have one of each or one and two?
Huh?
Yeah, but I heard you say about
Like in 1100s.
and not about.
On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the dude who wrote The Prince? He is on your test tomorrow, by the way. Who's the dude who wrote The Prince? Good, Shivani. Machiavelli, on your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of, what do we call a person? Yeah. You're good, though. You covered everything. Yeah. That's where I was going, girl. Goodbye.